In previous days, Sayadaw explained that viriya, effort, is very important in practicing high-class Satipatthana meditation. And Sayadaw explained 3 stages of viriya, effort. The first stage is arambhadhatu, initial effort. And the second is nikkamadhatu, step up effort in order to overcome laziness. And the third is parakkamadhatu, effort stage by stage, asserted till one reaches one's goal. And Sayadaw has explained the first stage of effort, and Sayadaw will continue today. In Mahasatipatthana Sutta, there is explanation on the Eightfold Noble Path, and it explains each and every Eightfold Path one by one, and Sayadaw will later on explain. Buddha himself mentioned viriya as samma vayama magga, the right effort, the effort asserted systematically so as to reach Nibbana. Samma vayama, the right effort, is one of the factors of the path leading to Nibbana. Nibbana is where the ordinary form of defilement, such as raga, dosa, moha, as well as the extreme form of greed, hatred, and delusion, are totally come to extinction. So long as the mind is associating with defilements, the mind will be unwholesome. It is very important so as to overcome unwholesomeness that has not arisen, and it is important so as to remove the unwholesomeness that has arisen. And it is important also to assert effort so as to develop wholesomeness that has not arisen. And one should assert effort in order to cultivate, increase the kind of wholesomeness that has arisen. Sayadaw will explain the 4 kinds of effort that is mentioned in Satipatthana Sutta, and Sayadaw will explain both theoretical and practical aspects, and Sayadaw will explain what will be the benefit of combining theory and practice. In Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it mentions that a yogi in this dispensation of the Buddha, who is called a bhikkhu, must have the will to practice so as the papaka akusala dhamma, the inferior unwholesomeness, will not arise. So one should cultivate the will to practice. And Sayadaw also explained the benefits of Satipatthana practice. Among the 7 benefits of Satipatthana practice, purification of the mind is the main benefit. By purifying the mind, one will automatically gain the other benefits. So in Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha expounded, changing the vocabulary so as the beings will understand. And Buddha expounded 7 benefits of Satipatthana practice. Among the 7 benefits, purification of the mind is the main benefit. By practicing Satipatthana meditation, one can become an arahat. So one has to develop one stage from Kalyana Putujana to Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Nagami, and then to an arahat. Satipatthana practice can make the person to become an arahat. So one can become lower noblehood as well as to the highest noblehood of being an arahat. So it is very important to know the benefits of Satipatthana practice, and one should have faith and confidence in the Satipatthana practice. And one should have the strong wish to gain the benefits of practice. One should have the eagerness to gain the benefit. Having the eagerness to gain the benefits of practice, one will exert effort in the practice, practicing with eagerness, with effort, in order to gain the benefits of practice. In order to practice, one should give up the worldly happiness. One should give up the worldly happiness, sensual happiness, giving up one's job or business so as to come to this meditation retreat. The kind of happiness, the kind of pleasure that is worldly, that is essential, can be measured, and thus it has less value. The kind of benefit that has guarantee, the kind of Dhamma happiness, Dhamma pleasure, it is very precious, it is very valuable, it is priceless, valuable and precious. By practicing Satipatthana meditation, one can become an arahat who is totally free from all the defilements, and thus who is totally pure. So one should have faith and confidence that there is a guarantee that by practicing Satipatthana meditation, one can be totally purified. Satipatthana meditation is one and only sure way in order to purify oneself. There are 4 fields of objects to be noticed, namely Kaya, Vedana, Citta, and Dhamma, bodily action, feelings, the mind, and the mental objects. Among the fields of objects to be noticed, there is the presently arising object that is arising at the present moment. And one should be noting the presently arising object with ardent effort. One should always be active, alert, ready, energetic in noting the object. Exerting effort in the practice, one will become satima, one will be endowed with mindfulness, and also the mind will become concentrated. There will be samadhi, concentration. When there is mindfulness, the mind will be calm, collected, and unified, and there will be Santājñā. One will discern things correctly, and one will develop knowledge stage by stage. In order to develop knowledge stage by stage, one should exert ardent effort in the practice. One should have sustained mindfulness. One should have concentration. And one will discern correctly. So in order to develop knowledge, there should be Anupassana. One should observe, one should note the object repeatedly again and again. And one should have constant mindfulness. One should have continuous mindfulness. In order to practice, one should have strong wish to practice. One should have the eagerness. One should be eager to practice so as to prevent the papa, inferior unwholesomeness, from arising. So in this way, one should cultivate the chanda. One should cultivate strong will to practice. So the yogis who are here, they have the strong will to practice, so that they came all the way from their country so as to join this meditation retreat. Anupadana means things that had not arisen. In the round of existences, one existence after another, there has not been akusala, unwholesomeness, that has not arisen throughout the round of existence. So anupadana means the unwholesomeness that has not arisen in this very life. In order not to give any chance for the defilements to arise, one should exert effort in the practice. There should be prevention of these defilements from arising. So there is the saying in the health that prevention is better than cure. In the same way, there should be prevention from these defilements from arising. Throughout the round of existences, there are unwholesomeness, there are defilements that have arisen. In this life, based on the things that one has not come across, such as seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, there will not be as much craving on the things that one has not seen, one has not heard, one has not smelled, one has not tasted, one has not touched. Even though one may come across desirable objects, one may have greed on things one takes as desirable, and there will be hatred, aversion based on things that are undesirable. But one seldom will have the greed and hatred on things that one has not come across before. The example is given here. There are so many countries. There are countries which are poor. So people from the poor country may have heard of other countries which are well off. Even though the person may have heard of other countries which are well off, the person living in a poor country might not want to give up the life in this poor country in order to go to another country which is far better off. A human being may have heard of the pleasure in the Deva realm, but the person, the human, may not crave so much for the Deva pleasure. Even if the human being may long for the deva pleasure, it may not be as much as the person has not experienced the deva pleasure in this life. So, based on things that one has not come across, lobha, greed and dosa, hatred cannot arise based on things that one has not come across. The papa dhamma, the unwholesomeness that has not arisen in this life, should be prevented from arising. So in order to prevent unwholesomeness from arising, one should be noting the presently arising object. One should have the strong wish to practice, and one should exert effort so that the noting mind will reach the object of meditation. Exerting effort in noting the object, one will overcome kosaja, laziness. Effort can overwhelm laziness. So when effort is present, kosaja, laziness, cannot arise. Exerting effort in the practice, laziness as well as other unwholesomeness cannot arise. In this way, one can gain upper hand, one can overcome laziness as well as other defilements by exerting effort in the practice. Viriya arabati. One should exert effort, one should initiate the effort, and one should increase the effort. One should step up the effort. So one should not withdraw. One should not flinch away. So if one withdraws, then one is cowardly. Only if one has courage, then one will go further. Vayama arambati. One should exert effort. One should exert courage. Even if one may face difficulty, one should not withdraw. So in this way, in order to prevent the unwholesomeness from arising, one should initiate the effort, one should step up the effort. So one should exert effort, one should exert courage. Whatever object that arises, one should note with sustained mindfulness. In this way, one should go further in the practice and one should not withdraw. In order to prevent unwholesomeness from arising, one should initiate effort. The effort that one has initiated, one should cultivate so that effort will gain momentum, and one should uplift the mind associating with viriya so that viriya effort will be uplifted stage by stage, step by step. Saraji gives an example. When lifting an object from the floor, one should lift it up in such a way so that the object will not drop, it will not stagnate in the middle, but the object will go higher and higher, up and up. In the same way, the effort that has been exerted should not become lower, it should not stagnate in the middle, but the effort should also be uplifted to higher and higher. In noting the object without missing, without failing, one should exert effort and one should step up the effort so that the effort will become higher and higher. So the effort should go up and up, higher and higher. And it is called Bhagahita Viriya, persistent effort. In this way, one should exert effort continuously and one should not stop in the way. Sayadaw explains how viriya can become slack. The yogi may be expecting good experiences. So in sitting meditation, yogi may expect what interesting experience will arise during the sit. So in this way, when expecting good experiences in one sitting after another, and if the practice does not turn out to be the way the yogi expected, then yogi becomes slack in the practice, and yogi does not want to exert effort, and yogi becomes practicing in an easygoing manner, and yogi's viriya effort becomes slack. It should not happen that way. At times in the practice, yogi can experience unpleasant feelings such as itchiness, pain, and ache. If the yogi is noting this unpleasant feeling, itches, pain, and ache, in order to get rid of it, and if the pain and ache does not go away, then yogi's effort becomes slack. So it should not happen that way. Whatever object arises, whether the itchiness, pain, or ache, yogi should note in such a way so that yogi understands the itchiness, pain, and ache. So it is important to note the pain so as to understand it. One should not note in such a way so as to get rid of it. So when the yogi notes the pain, wanting to get rid of it, and if the pain does not disappear, it becomes vedana paccaya tanha. Due to the unpleasant pain, yogi craves for good experience, and tanha, craving, arises. When noting the pain, when viriya, sati, and samadhi, when effort, mindfulness, and concentration is not as yet strong, then it may take long before the pain disappears. But yogi has to note the pain with effort. When noting the pain, yogi understands the nature of the pain, that it is unpleasant. It is unpleasant. It is being felt as unpleasant. And also, yogi understands the function of the pain, that it makes the mind withered and exhausted. And also, yogi understands the pain as the pain is tormenting. Seeing the tormenting of the pain, then yogi understands the manifestation of the pain. Noting the pain, sati, mindfulness develops, and the noting mind being direct or face to face with the object, yogi comes to discern the nature function, manifestation of the pain. Discerning correctly, it is obvious that the viriya effort has increased. When noting pain, yogi understands that there is the pain and the noting mind. So there may be heat or pain. At first, yogi may see that there is the heat where there is the touching between the buttock and the cushion, or my thighs are aching, or pain is in my leg. But later on, when noting pain, the location will fall away and yogi will just know it as pain. When the location falls away, yogi understands that it is not the being, it is not human, it is not I, but what really exists is the pain and the noting mind. So when yogi has got to the stage where there is only the pain and the noting mind without the location where it is, then yogi knows that it is painful, but it is interesting. So at this stage of practice, it is painful, but the pain becomes pleasant. So yogi will take it as the pleasant pain. So at this stage, yogi can overcome pain, and yogi's effort becomes even more courageous, and viriya effort has increased in great momentum. Overcoming pain, yogi has built up courageous effort, and yogi can even challenge pain. Let it come, I will note it. So in this way, noting pain with courageous effort, overcoming pain, there will be Vedana Nupassana, and yogi has developed Vedana Nupassana, and his or her effort has increased in great momentum. Viriyena citta pagahita karoti. One should uplift one's mind with courageous effort. In the practice, one should exert effort. One should note with sustained mindfulness so as to gain knowledge. With effort, one should uplift one's mind so that it will not be slack, and one should not stagnate in the middle, but one should uplift one's effort. In the practice, one should not be expecting good experiences to come, but one should note the presently arising object effectively. And when unpleasant feelings arise, such as pains and aches, one should note it without regard to one's body and life, and one should note the pain and ache with courageous effort. If the yogi is noting the pain superficially, then the pain may be getting long, and yogi may crave for the good feeling. Having pain, one craves for good experience to arise, and tanha, craving, arises. So the example is given here. Taking purified water is nice and comfortable, but if the person has to take water that is not purified, then one craves for purified water. There will be craving. When noting pain, when the yogi feels dissatisfied with the pain, angry with the pain, then it will be Vedana Paccaya Tanha. Based on pain, one craves for good experiences, and there will be craving. Craving can arise based on pleasant feeling. When there is pleasant feeling, there can be craving for even better feeling. And also, when there are bad feelings such as pain and ache, there can be craving for good feeling. And also, when there is neutral feeling, one can crave, one can be attached as the neutral feeling is calm and good. So based on good feeling, bad feeling and neutral feeling, based on all these feelings, Tasna, craving can arise. That's why yogis should be noting on whatever object is arising. If the yogi cannot note the object that is arising based on good feeling, bad feeling and neutral feeling, Tasna, craving can arise. So in order not to let craving to arise, one should note the object with effort. In the practice, one should be practicing with effort without regard to one's body and life. So one should be determined, courageous to note, to practice. Let only the sinews be left, let only the bones be left, let the skin be left, and let the skin and the blood dry up, but I will not give up. So in this way, yogi has to exert courageous effort without regard to one's body and life. When viriya gains momentum, yogi overcomes laziness. Noting the object, aiming, directing the object, having vitakka, the mind will be open, blossom, and fresh. When there is vitakka, making the mind open, blossom, and fresh, the tinamita, which keeps the mind constricted, will be away. Having vitakka, aiming, directing the mind onto the object, laziness cannot arise. And having viriya, effort overwhelms laziness. And the mind will be open, blossom, and fresh. And yogi will feel happy practicing. And Saraji will continue to explain tomorrow. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.